PGA European Tour is brought to you by Volvo.
Hello and welcome to highlights of round 3 of the Trophée Lancôme from Saint-Nom-la-Bretèche on the outskirts of Paris. I'm Steve Beddow. This is a tournament that's always had style and quality fields. This year no exception. 65 players making the halfway cut, which fell at 5 over on a tight tree-lined undulating layout, and the players separated by just 10 shots from first to last. It's a testing par 70, and yesterday a swirling wind made conditions difficult. The lead shared by Ian Woosnam in the middle of a seesaw battle at the top of the Volvo rankings with Colin Montgomery, and Sweden's Jesper Parnevik back on a flying visit from the US Tour, where he plays the bulk of his golf these days. They're both 5 under. You see 4 players a shot back, including Montgomery, and amongst those still with a realistic chance of victory, Costatina Rocco and Bernhard Langer. Others such as Anton Lebrook, the chance to secure their card for next year. Conditions today pretty still, certainly compared with yesterday, just a light breeze, and the early scoring quite a bit better than yesterday when the average was 73.54 and the par of course is 70. Let's take you through some of the early actions. Quite a duel to take place. Jesper Parnevik looking for his 3rd win in Europe, and of course Colin Montgomery looking for his 4th Harry Varden Trophy at the top of the Order of Merit. Montgomery at the 2nd hole, having started with a birdie. A bit of a change there. There was a bogey at the opening hole for Ian Woosnam. And Monty, who had 29 birdies and 2 eagles at Cron-sur-Sierre last week, making his birdie there. So starting with 2 birdies, he parred the 3rd. This is for birdie at 4. Never in doubt, and what a start by Colin Montgomery, making his intentions clear. He's already just about £60,000 clear of Ian Woosnam at the top of the Volvo rankings. And, Parnevik making a birdie, having dropped the shot at the 2nd. He birdies 3 and 4. Playing in 3 balls, so Parnevik in the last trio with Peter Baker and Ian Woosnam. Earlier in the day, Severiano Ballesteros with a 70 level par. So 4 over going into the final round. A little bit of a mixed bag for Sevi. Rather more red figures appearing on the card. Now we go forward to the 8th. This is Parnevik. 3rd shot at the par 5. Pars all the way since that birdie at 4. And that beautifully played, and that will be yet another birdie of 4 at the 8th for Parnevik. Meanwhile, Colin Montgomery playing ahead, out in 32. Both halves par 35. Ian Woosnam doing so well, but that's his first birdie of the day at the 8th. Back to 5 under. But at this stage, a couple behind. Been struggling with a bad back all week, and not quite so far today on his driving. Nick Faldo with 1 hole to play. 1 under for the day, needs a par for a 69, having started both halves with a bogey. And this is Colin Montgomery at the 10th, as I say, out in 32. The 10th, the 16th hardest hole on the course, or put it another way, the 3rd easiest, and a definite birdie opportunity. And Monty not about to miss out. Won the Order of Merit for the last 3 years. Each year he's played fewer tournaments, and he's continuing that trend this year. He started 24, then I think 21, 20 last year. Scheduled to play 18 this year. Each year he makes more money. Nice work if you can get it. So there we are, a tie at the top with Colin Montgomery and Jesper Parnevik. Parnevik also out in 32 with a birdie at the 9th hole, and those two have opened a little gap over Ross Drummond. Good to see him still on the leaderboard, looking for his biggest check of his career. David Howell, the rookie from Swindon, England, also going well, and Silvio Grappasoni looking for the check that will confirm his card. Ian Woosden 3 shots off the pace now, and Jamie Spence, the first round leader, is 4 under. Let's pick up the action at 14. It's a tough finish. This hole, 467 yards. Parnevik playing his third, rated the hardest on the course. They've just played 13, which is 6th hardest, and to come 15, the 3rd hardest. So it's an important run, but this is a man who's going well, scrambling his way round. Mark Rowe, who won in 1992, and that's a 65 that equals the low round of the week set by Jamie Spence on day 1, and the low round wins a Rolex watch. Certainly for Mark Rowe, Jamie Spence at the moment takes the watch on a better back 9. But looking out for Rowe tomorrow. When he won in 92, he won with a final 65, scores of 66 and 65 over the weekend, and he has that confidence in knowing that he's done it before, and who knows, he may do it again. This is an important putt for Parnevik, this to stay tied in the lead with Colin Montgomery. 6th appearance on the European Tour this year. His best finish this year of 16th at Carnoustie in the Scottish, so it hasn't been spectacular, but his form in America has been improving all the time. Surely just a matter of time until he wins over there. Green's pretty quick and aggressive putt, and he left himself, as you can see, a 4-footer back. So Colin Montgomery, so Jesper Parnevik saves his bogey, made that one, but Monty with 5 holes to play, leads by 1, and we'll be back after the break. Welcome back. Colin Montgomery with a 1-shot lead going into the closing stages of the 3rd round of the 27th Trophée Lancôme at beautiful Saint-Nom-la-Bretèche. Jesper Parnevik coming off that bogey at 14, tee shot at the 15th, 438 yards, downhill drive from an elevated tee and then steeply uphill to a fiercely sloping green. Doglegs slightly from right to left, and if that's into the trees on the right, that could be big trouble for Parnevik. Just a question of how he lays, but will make it very difficult to get on in too. Some good scores in already. Fernando Roca 69, and then early in the day 67s for Ronan Rafferty and Philip Price, a 68 for Gary Orr. Jose Rivero, a 68. I'm just looking for a little bit of inspiration. That's okay, to the bottom of the hill. Won't be able to see the bottom of the pin, but he's in pretty good shape. It was a 67 for Peter Mitchell, a 68 for David Guilford. Roger Davis at a 69, making a putt or two. Chip Beck at a 72. As you saw, Mark Rowe with that 65, the best of the day so far. Now up on the 15th, Colin Montgomery. This putt is uphill. He's playing with Silvio Grappasoni, going along quite steadily, and likewise Ross Drummond. Not too used to being in this sort of company with a reasonable sized gallery. Mr. McLean just stopping the crowds. Anything left of this pin coming in with the second shot does run away. Can often finish off the green, but this is a very makeable putt. Uphill, give it a firm wrap, and in she goes. So Montgomery yet to card a bogey in this 3rd round. Three wins so far this year, and a couple of times second. 12 wins altogether. Costantino Rocca, who started the day at 4 under, 1 over so far. This is the par 5 16th. Move the tee up just a little. New tee 30 yards back, and Rapasoni holds a putt. Incidentally, Emmanuel Canonica, big hitting Italian, only player so far to eagle 16 today, getting on into just 3 eagles so far. There was a 2 at 17 for Glenn Turner, and Tim Planchon from France hold his second for eagle at the 10th. Now Ross Drummond going along very nicely, 1 under for the day, and his own quiet way, having very much his best ever year. 39-year-old now from Prestwick, working with a Dutch psychologist, much more positive. Did check his caddy is not Lawrence Donegan, who's writing a book about his experiences. He should be back for the Volvo Masters. And Ross's target this week, well, he's 57th in the Volvo rankings. He wants to get in the top 50 and therefore qualify for Valderrama. There's the scene looking down on 18, the par 3, second hardest hole on the course. Well, let's take a look at 15, which is rated the 3rd hardest hole on the course. You can see bunkers either side. Those won't really worry these players. They can fly those. Then to the bottom of the slope, and then doesn't really show you quite how steeply uphill it is. It's a deceptive course. It's very undulating. And Jesper Parnevik got himself in all sorts of trouble. He's going to try and chase this one forward, I guess, and left to right, low fade. Just checking the backswing. Well, he caught the branch, didn't he? But he still made a pretty good contact. Now, if he's got that turning and chasing, he may yet escape with the par. You can see how steep it is uphill for Woosnam. Mustn't be left of the pin. Woosie likes to come in with a draw. Here he comes now, just hold there. Now that could either go in the hole, and now might run quite a long way past. Now stop. Terrific shot. I don't know quite how close that was to going in. I got a clue from the crowd. Costantina currently 5th in the Volvo rankings. Fine season. Of course, our PGA champion. He'll be 40 in December. But the 1990s have changed his life. Paul Broadhurst. He too having a more than useful season. Form's been very consistent. Lost the playoff to Lee Westwood in Sweden. Since then, 3 top 10s in a row in the Czech Republic, Germany, and again last week in Kron. And who knows, maybe again this week. David Howe in his rookie season, fast approaching £100,000 in prize money, which would have been a goal. First, make your card, then maybe 100,000 whiz it, perhaps to Valderrama. He's down in 63rd in the rankings at the moment, so just got to go a little bit. But whatever happens, it's been an excellent first season for the 21-year-old. This is Grafisoni from the bunker on the right of 16. It's a flat bunker, as you can see. If the lie is good, you can get a long iron. And he's put himself into pretty good shape to pitch and putt, perhaps for a birdie. Looks to me as if Colin Montgomery's in there as well. Monty, the best player of a driver off the deck in the world, doesn't have that option. Just to be a little careful the ball doesn't leak away to the right below his stance. Just really playing for position. And maybe overcompensating for what he thought would be the left to right movement. And he's left himself a glance, a rueful glance at the sand, but left himself an awkward one. And this is, yes, but remember he's short in 2. Good pitch. Running 7 or 8 feet past the hole. This, quite a swing on this one from left to right, downhill, very slick. Say par. Go on. No, nicely done. Well, he'll take 4, I'm sure, after that rather wayward drive. 1 behind, and Colin Montgomery in a little bit of bother, a hole ahead. Isber, who went head-to-head at Baserbäck last year in the Scandinavian Masters when he became the first Swede to win in Sweden. And it could be a repeat tomorrow. Really for birdie. It's more like it. Up to 4 under. 4 shots behind, 1 over today. He has the power to get very close to the 16th in 2 if he really nails 2 shots. There's a view back at 17. Not been a good day for Bernhard Langer. All went wrong at the first, really, where double bogey 6 on the card. But the one thing you can guarantee with Langer, he'll be trying 100% right until the end. Anton Lebuc, 125th in the rankings, and top 115 will keep their cards. Into the Sound Anton, who was tied 7th in the British Masters at Coventry, which I think may have got him into this week and may also help him to save his card. Married at the start of the year to Patricia Meunier, the professional on the American Express Women's Tour. And Lapasoni, who won almost £50,000, so he should be okay. But the bigger the check, the better for this week. Rough is fairly clinging, and luckily for Monty, he's got 26 paces of green to play with, so onto the putting surface, just a question of then how it runs. At bunker, he's got to go off, that's new this year. Not bad, and not great though. Playing with Mark Rowe was Carl Mason, a 73, Howard Clark, a 70, and Paul Earls at a 68, improving all the time, 71, 69, 68. Playing with Sam Torrance, who had a 73, Rolf Muntz, a 73, Paul Broadhurst finished with a 68, Stuart Cage, a 70, Miguel Angel Jimenez with a 72. Really does drive the legs through the ball. And the fairway does slope from left to right, so up the left-hand side and roll into the middle. And that's just about perfect from Parnevik. We'll be trying to get up in 2. He was pin high, if you remember, yesterday in the second round. With 2 mighty blows, he may do it again. At the moment, though, he trails by 1 to Colin Montgomery, who's got an outside chance of birdie at 16, no more. So pretty tight at the top at the moment. It looks as if we're in for a repeat of last year's Scandinavian Masters. See you again after these. That's a 1-shot lead for Colin Montgomery. He's on 16. This is David Howe's second shot at the 18th, which is playing as the second hardest hole of the 18. This is a composite course of the 2 layouts, the red and blue courses here at San Nom. And Howe, although disappointed, if he'd been beyond the bunker, would have been in the water. That would have been worse. Here is Colin Montgomery, our leader by 1. Chance for a birdie perhaps at 16. Slightly on the putt, I think, a little bit from right to left. Good crowds. Is that turning? Yes, just a little too much. And it was downhill as well. This is, if you haven't been with us or if you weren't with us yesterday, this is Bernhard Langer with the new long handle putter, which has worked so far this week. Not always easy from this range to get the feel that you need. blowing a little bit harder, but that's not really the main problem for Bernhard. It's closer. He's down there at 44th in the Volvo rankings, and he's been in the top 10 since 1989. So I think that just sums up the problems he's had with his putting once again, and with injury. But I don't think he'll be 44th come the end of the year. David Howe playing with Jamie Spence, who's fought back well today. 2 under. This for a 67. First round leader. Nice way to finish for the Arsenal supporter. And a 67 rather. His week spoiled by the second round 73 perhaps, but 5 under. Of course, when he won his only tournament in Cron-sur-Isère in Pre-Cannon European Masters 92, came through with the last round 60. Ross Drummond, been a tour regular since 1978. This will be the first time that he passes the £100,000 mark for a season. And he should do that quite comfortably this week. In the second place behind Latif Hussein at Slaley Hall. It's his best performance of his career so far. It's Constantine Roca. Again wearing his heart on his sleeve, and this is Colin Montgomery to save his par at 16. Well, made an eagle at 16 yesterday, just a par today. That's Anton the Book. It was a putt for a 70. He tapped that one in for a 71. Ian Woosum quite a long way back on 16, short of that sand. Not so far away too, so he didn't really nail the drive. Had he done so, he would have been very close to the putting surface in two. As I say, they have moved the tee forward just a few yards. Now David Howe. Rounds so far of 68 and 69. He's got this for a second 69. Big swing, no problem. So Howe, who's had a couple of top 10 finishes, look at that run of 4 birdies in a row, 5 in 6 holes from the 4th. Not much happened on the way home, mind you. And David Howe, 3 top 10s so far. Now, Jesper Parnevik, he's done the hard part, perhaps, with the drive. Can he get on in 2? Well, needs the cut. Needs to cut a lot. Oh, and it has. Oh, it has. Well, unlucky to go through, but he should get down in 2 from there. Not feeling too well. I understand about a food poisoning. Didn't get too much sleep last night. Rocker, who was 3rd at Coventry, in 1 or 2 repercussions from their players meeting earlier in the week, but concerned some of the top players of the condition of the courses they play on. I think those who run the PGA Tour likewise, and hopefully they get together. Nick Faldo sums it up really. He said, we don't want heads to roll, we want greens to roll. No complaints about this Saint-Nom La Bretèche layout though. Long established and well respected venue for the European Tour. 17, dogleg from left to right, a bunker up the right-hand side, and Ross Drummond's really fired it over that bunker. That's a good shot. Leaves him just a short iron in. Montgomery missed this right side yesterday. I don't think he has today. Certainly hasn't. And up there close to Drummond's ball, Colin Montgomery in perfect shape. And of course leading by one. We'll see a second shot to 17 after these. Welcome back to Saint-Nom-la-Bretèche, where Colin Montgomery leads by one. There a view of the practice putting green and the superb clubhouse and changing rooms, apartments, facilities here at Saint-Nom, part of the old Versailles estate. Going on the course, Ian Woosnam, third shot, 16. Didn't really grip the way he expected. That's a downhill putt. This is Colin Montgomery in perfect shape. 17. The pin's cut right side. You've got to go in over that bunker, but Monty no doubt will hit a little bit of fade left to right. The pin set 26 paces back, just 6 in from the right-hand side. Alistair McLean doing the maths, and there's no more than 9. May even be a wedge for Montgomery. Oh. Oh. We couldn't ask for more. And it's just boiling up to a showdown between Montgomery and Parnevik. And if you saw our coverage last year from Barsebek of the Volvo Scandinavian Masters, you know how well this man played and how much admiration Colin Montgomery had for him. I'm sure if Colin Montgomery had been picking the Ryder Cup side last year, Jesper Parnevik would have been in it. You can see how quick that one is. It's okay. Got that to go to 8 under, but chances are he'll still be one behind. Now the 39-year-old from Prestwick, Scotland, Ross Drummond. 4 times been the Scottish PGA champion. Played pretty well last week at Cron, share 14th place, so his form is good. A little unlucky. I thought it may kick to the left, but he will be putting. Target, I guess, will be to play at Valderrama. I'm not sure he's played there before in the Volvo Masters. And there's Colin Montgomery, still keeping most of those pounds off. And worth another look at this second shot at 17, isn't it? Just such a beautiful flowing swing. Well, missed out on the 4 majors again this year. So the next target is the 4th successive Order of Merit win. This is the man who can stop him, Ian Woosnam, who topped the money list in 87 and 90, but slipped to 65th last year, and that spurred him on to a terrific season. 3 wins already, won the first 2 times out, and also the Volvo German Open. 30 tour wins altogether. Again from right to left and a little quick. Again, well, it wasn't that much right to left. It may even have been straight, but I think as Ian Woosnam read it okay, and he's fighting back. There's 2 birdies in a row. He's back to level par today. 3 behind. And you'll see a lot of players play to the front of this green. They want to take the water completely out of the equation. And another of those long, medium range putts for Bernhard Langer. Can he get this one past the hole? Not yet. It'll be a tap in for a 71. Swedish way to rattle those putts at the hole. Okay, when they drop, Stepanovic is level with Colin Montgomery again. I suspect not for long. The 34-year-old Italian Grappazoni. Never been better placed than a share of 7th place. There's a chance to maybe improve that statistic this week. Son of Ugo, he was 2 times the Italian Open champion. It took Silvio a long time to establish himself on the tour, but he's starting to do that now. Possibly inspired by Costantino Rocca. He taps in for a round of 69, so there he is at 4 under. You suspect he's a 65 or a 64 tomorrow. Langer is 71, and there was a birdie on 18 for Andrew Coulthard. His only one of a round he'd rather forget. Andrew finishing with a 74. Hello Scott, Ross Drummond. He goes 6 under at 17. That's fine. And he was second at Slowly Hoist. He wasn't too disappointed that he didn't win. I suppose when you've jogged along for so many years, you'll take second and build from there. That was one of the smaller tournaments, and I think he got a chance of his biggest check this week, that's for sure. Well, the final 3 ball back on the 17. Neil Woosnam keeps the honour. Just away into the trees on the right, and not good in there. Concentrate, you heard the caddy say to Jesper Parnevik. Good wide stance. And good weight transference as well, onto the right side, then everything through. Where's that gone? So obviously a little right. Question is, how far? Well, ahead on the green. This one should be simple for Colin Montgomery, and is no less than the second shot deserved. Montgomery leading by 1 once again. And 18 to come, where he chipped in for a birdie 2 yesterday. Leads by 1 from Parnevik. Jamie Spence in 3rd place, and the leader at the moment in the clubhouse. Ross Drummond going well. Liam Woosnam, 2 birdies to get back up the leaderboard. Mark Rowe, a former winner, with a 65, the low round of the day. Looking through the 68 of Paul Eales. Peter Mitchell with a 67. Roger Davis a 69. He held a lot of good putts there. Back with the short putter with the Bernhard Langer grip. Now Clark a level par 70. Ronan Rafferty and Philip Price playing together. Rounds of 67. You can see that 74 for Andrew Coulthard. That's put him right back down amongst the also rounds. Nick Fowler a 69. Severiano Ballesteros a 70. See you after the break. Welcome back to San Nom La Bretèche. There's the view of 18, and back on the tee, some 180 odd yards away, the tournament leader Colin Montgomery, just coming off a birdie at 17, and he's 5 under today. And of course the thought occurs, if he birdies this hole for the second day running at 64. He has snatched the Rolex off the wrist of Jamie Spence. 7-9. Again, the tee moved forward today from the very back tee, forward some 20 yards, and that's gone left. With the right club into the sand. There's some bunker shot as well, with the water beyond on the other side. That will worry players of this standard. Greppesoni, best finish this year, share of 8th place at Carnoustie in the Scottish Open. That got him into the Open Championship at Royal St Anne's. A long, hard struggle, but just starting to establish itself. It starts left as well. 2 out of 2 into the bunker. See the car there, the Ford on offer for a hole-in-one. Is yet unclaimed. And now Ross Drummond. He hasn't got long. It's Donegan, the journalist writing the book on the bag. The plan is they'll meet up again at the Volvo Masters if Ross makes it, and if he continues to play like this, chances are he will. Pin just 12 paces on, and only 5 in from the right hand side, so over that bunker that you can see on the right hand side of the green, and water just beyond. It's a brave golfer who goes straight at the pin. There's a brave golfer. Every reason to look pleased. Now look at the 17th. 422 yards. You can see that bunker on the right hand side. The players try and far over that with a little bit of draw if they can into the angle of the dogleg. If they hit it with a fade, they can be in amongst those trees, and that can be problems. To get it right, you're left with just a short iron in. Bunkers either side, and the pin today 26 paces on, 6 from the right hand side. And Jesper Parnevik, what he got out of jail on 15, a low cut, and he's just got to be aware of the branches. Rothmans, the Dutch player, a little bit earlier, similar position, and caught the branches. It knocked his ball down. Open the stance, punch it through. Hasn't hit timber. Now if it's cutting, it could be very good. That's some result from there. That will do. Stick his heart in his mouth when the ball left the club. Couldn't be quite sure how hot it would come off the blade. Ian Woosnam, similar sort of shot really, just checking the backswing. Not so much timber in the way. He's able to have a higher shot in and sits it. Just came out a little hot, but deadly accurate. And Woozy, one of the reasons for his revival, I think a lot of his contracts are performance related. And he's collecting in good style. Greppesoni from the bunker, not bad. If the players have got one little complaint this week, the sound a little inconsistent throughout the course. I would imagine that will be put right for next year. Greens are playing well though, and very lush the course. It really is in immaculate condition. Slightly downhill, just adds to the problems for Montgomery. Got underneath it. Got underneath it, didn't really want to take it thin, that was for sure. But he obviously will be disappointed with that. Hold his chip for a 2 yesterday, and of course when he won last year from the left hand side, chipped and putted to deny Sam Torrance by the one shot. Here's a look at Peter Baker. Haven't seen too much of Peter. He's 1 over today. Not in 37. Just the one birdie at the 9th. And rather left behind by his playing partners, or at least by Jesper Parnevik. Well, he hasn't had a bogey on the card so far. But for sure he has now. So we'll have that 3-footer for 66. Open with the 66 and then a 70 with a birdie at this 18th and an eagle at the 16th. It was a pretty good finish, though he dropped the shot at 17 in between. Here's Ian Wisdom at 17, third from the back of the green. Quite steeply up. Level par today, but on the evidence of what we've seen, could have been a couple of shots lower. No 2 at the last for Ross Drummond. That was for a 68, for a third successive 68. He's had to settle for a 69. Under, and even third place will be the same amount as Retief Goosen got for winning at Slaley Hall. So it's a good week's work so far for Ross Drummond. And for all the hard work he's put in. It was a little bit of a struggle coming home, but you have to make your score going out at St Nom. And then maybe on the first 2 or 3 holes of the back 9, it's pretty tough from, well, from 13 in really. Personi to save his par. He's had rounds of 69 and 67 so far, and this is for a round of 70. Well done. Well done. So 4 under, started with a birdie, just one other success at the 12th, and again you can see having to hold his score together over the closing holes. From the trees onto the green can Jesper Parnevik conjure an unlikely birdie and the lead. See how quick that putt is. And even Jesper couldn't be aggressive. Once he'd driven into the trees, I think he would always settle for a 4. So a par at the last, and will be a date with Colin Montgomery in the final 3-ball tomorrow. Just a reminder, you can see slightly more coverage of the final round at a slightly better hour, 6 p.m. Central European Time and 5 p.m. in the UK. And then with an hour's highlights at midnight Central European Time tomorrow night. I think he maybe should have had that marker moved. It suggests he may just have misread it. Pity, because he'd hold 2 good ones in a row. Yeah, he's just thinking, wow, I didn't think it would go that way. to 1 over. This is no gimme either. Montgomery very aware that on the first day he rushed an 18-inch putt and missed. Kind of curl on that one, but in for a 4, not the best of finishes. It just leaves a little bit of a nasty taste, but overall a 66. Not a bad day's work, and just the one bogey coming at the last. But great start from Montgomery, 3 birdies in the first 4 holes. Now here is the 18th, 209 yards, but they have moved the tee down to the second tier. So from tee to pin is at around about 180 yards. See that water on the right-hand side. So Parnevik par to share the lead, and birdie, of course, to take the lead going into the final round. Again, starts it to the left. There is a little bit of breeze off the left, nothing significant, and he's come up a little bit short. Well, players do that. You can always chip and putt from there and normally get you 3, and you do take the water and the bunkers out of play. You see wobbly, was his caddy just saying into us off the left. It's maybe changed direction a fraction from yesterday when it was quite hard off the left. The stroke average today 71 as opposed to 73.5 yesterday, so about 2.5 shots easier. It's a lovely simple swing when it's in the groove. Keep talking to it, Ian. Beauty. Every chance of 3 birdies and the 1 bogey in the last 4 holes. He's a fighter. Not giving this away yet. He won this title back in '93, well, the last round 65, so who knows? Now Peter Baker. 1 under, so he's 3 over today. He's down at the Warwickshire Club, fine new complex near Coventry, where there will be a seniors tour event, and hasn't been Peter's day. Wasn't a bad shot, just a brave line really, a little bit further and could have been very close. So there the role of previous winners. Vijay Singh playing in the President's Cup at the moment, and likewise Frank Nobilo and Jose Maria Olazabal. Of course, last year was the last time that Jose Maria played on the tour. He may be playing in the Perrier pairs with Seve. Wish him well. Of course, the first winner was Tony Jacklin way back in 1970. Of the first 9 years of a field of just 8 players. Second name on the trophy was Arnold Palmer, Billy Casper, Gary Player, Johnny Miller there as well. But no Swede. Turn. Oh, Swede, but there might be tomorrow. What an outrageous too. Well, I guess no more outrageous than the chip that Montgomery holed yesterday for his birdie, but Jesper Parnevik, the son of a Swedish comedian, can afford to smile. He leads the field of the Trophée Lancôme by 1 going into the final round, and it's head-to-head with Colin Montgomery tomorrow. You don't want to miss that. And there we are, 66. Dropped an early shot, picked up 4 to the turn. Good finish. Let's take a look at this. I'm sure he was just thinking, well, let's get this close and not give one away. You can see just how much of a swing there is on it. At this stage, you think, has it got the legs? But it's downhill and turns and right in the middle. No problem. So Parnevik leads by 1. Peter Baker, still only 28. Even though he's been a pro for 10 years. A couple of good finishes in Andalusia and Dubai. Looking hard at his game, just needs to string 4 rounds together, you feel. 67 and that's 69. And that's been the sort of day that Peter's had. 74. Rather missed out on the party. Ugly finish as well with a 6 at 17 it was. So it wasn't going too badly. He'd fought back quite well and then drops 3 shots in the last 2 holes. So that's just about it. An unlikely birdie from Jesper Parnevik, but a real birdie chance for Ian Woosnam. This is for a 70, and this would leave him 4 behind. And of course 3 behind Colin Montgomery. This is a popular figure. It's a backward finish from Woosie. 3 birdies in the last 4 holes. And just offset a little by the bogey at 17. But who's to say he's out of this one yet? Certainly not me. So Woosie struggling really from the turn and having to fight very hard to hold his score together. But this is the man of the moment, Jesper Parnevik with his 66. You just check it in the recorder's hut and then meet the media. And there it is, confirmed a 66. So he leads by 1 from Colin Montgomery. They'll be out tomorrow, I suspect, with Jamie Spence in their 3 ball. Spence first in. Drummond, Woosnam and Rowe. Woosnam and Rowe, former winners. And Costatina Rocca, Silvio Graffasoni playing together. They could inspire each other. Well, that's just about it. Thanks for your company tonight. Thanks for staying up with me. It's morning now. And as I say, we'll be back tomorrow, 6 p.m. Central European time, 5 o'clock here in the UK. I think it's going to be very exciting. If it's half as good as it was last year at Barsebäck in the Volvo Scandinavian Masters, it's one that you should not want to miss. So I'll see you then. Till then, from me, Steve Beddow. Goodbye.
The PGA European Tour was brought to you by